Hi there, everyone. I'm Ashley Bullington, and welcome into the Campfire. This week, we are deep diving into District 86A. And let's get started with our film session presented by Cricket Wireless.
There was quite a few coaching changes in this district over the offseason, but one team that didn't make a change was Arlington Martin. Bob Wager's Warriors look to be serious contenders in the Region 1 playoffs led by a stingy defense. Ernest Cooper and Travell Johnson are high D1 prospects that haunt a quarterback's dreams. On offense, Martin has a couple of young backs that can gobble up yardage, Zaire Barrow and Javian Taviano. Arlington High is extremely young this year, but will hope to win games defensively. They are led by linebacker E.J. Higgins and defensive end Micah Lee on that side of the ball. As for coaching changes, Laban DeLay left Lamar for district foe South Grand Prairie. DeLay is very familiar with the Warriors program, and he knows he'll have speed all over the field. Former Vikings standout Billy Skinner takes over the head coaching job at Lamar. The Vikings lost a lot to graduation but returned a seasoned offensive line led by Isaiah Robinson. Over at Bowie, Joseph Sam takes over as head coach and is blessed with possibly the best player in the district and offensive lineman Devon Campbell. Those three should be battling it out for the last two playoff spots. Grand Prairie is excited to return 8 starters on offense, including SMU commit Savion Red and quarterback Michael Stallworth. Sam Houston also returns some offensive starters, including wide receiver Tavion Jenkins and 3-year letterman Justin Tone at quarterback.
The film session is presented by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Some really great teams in 86A, and they are led by phenomenal players. Let's introduce you to a few of them and our players on the rise.
The best player in this district can be found in the trenches with offensive lineman Davon Campbell of Arlington Bowie. Campbell is already predicted to be a first-round NFL draft pick, as he is one of the top linemen in the country. He's 6'4" and 310 pounds, with heavy hands and solid athleticism all over the field. Campbell is excellent with his pulling ability, and when he gets to the second level, defensive backs will go down. At Grand Prairie, Savion Red is quite the jack of all trades. Red is used in several different ways in the Gopher offense, as he is their most dangerous weapon. The SMU commit caught 34 passes for 437 yards and 6 touchdowns for Grand Prairie. Red also ran for 3 touchdowns as well and is a standout on the basketball team. Ernest Cooper has been a terror on the Martin defensive line for 2 years now, and there is no reason to think he won't be this year as well. He got over 60 tackles each year for the past 2 years to go along with 10 career sacks. Cooper is long and lean and a physical tackler. He was compared to former Martin great Myles Garrett as a sophomore, but since has grown into his own player. Cooper is being recruited by Stanford, Ohio State, and Texas A&M, among others. If Cooper wasn't scary enough, Travell Johnson also roams the field for Martin's defense. Johnson simply gets to the ball carrier. He recorded 109 tackles last year and 14 tackles for loss. Add to that, he got 4 sacks, and you can see why Texas made Johnson a future Longhorn a priority. Travell is also a menace on special teams, where he was the district special teams MVP last year.
Really great players, and in District 86A, we have some really phenomenal coaching as well. This week, we bring in head coach of Arlington Martin, Bob Wager, for our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day 86A, and one of our favorite guys is joining us from Arlington Martin. That's Coach Bob Wager. Coach, I got to tell you, we just talked about it seconds ago. Man, you talk a lot about how when you guys get through the playoffs, you like to help the other Arlington ISD teams, and the same thing goes for them with you, get through the rest of the playoffs. But, man, a lot of your guys are leaving. DeArmond and Coach Whitson went to smaller schools, and now you got Delays jumping over to South Grand Prairie. Talk about how you feel the coaching matchups are now a little bit different for you this year, different guys to talk to.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Ward. It seems like just yesterday that I was the young guy, and it was Eddie Peach and I.C. Little, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden we switched hats, and now I'm one of the elder statesmen in the room. But excited for those coaches. Some of them getting their very first head coaching opportunity as well. Lots of energy and a great way to renew some traditional rivalries, and we look forward to welcome them into this district.
You bring back a lot on the defense, or at least a lot of star players on the defense as well. Talk about what you guys got coming back, and how much confidence it gave you to take South Lake Carroll that far to maybe go even farther this year.
For us defensively, it starts up front. Ernest Cooper IV is a elite level recruit. He's narrowed his 5 universities down to the Ohio States, Texas A&M's, Stanford's, Oregon's, just elite level collegiate football program. So we're awful excited about where we are defensively for sure.
We can't wait to get out and see you, Coach. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk soon.
All right, Ward. Thanks so much for the interest, and thanks for having me on.
Coach Wager, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. You can catch the entire interview with the Warrior head man on Thursday in our Media Day segment on our social media channels. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now we bring in the one, the only Professor Diggs for the District Breakdown.
All right, District Breakdown time. It is 8-6A, and I'm here with Professor Diggs. Diggs, this district it threw me for a loop last year, because every time I'm thinking of Arlington ISD, I'm thinking once they make the playoffs, they're going out west. But they threw them over about 5 districts to 8-6A, so they don't have to make that travel plans. Which of these Arlington teams should I be nervous about, or should other teams be nervous about? And then how do you think this is going to play out?
I think it has to be mentioned. If we're going to do district breakdown, we have to kind of break down the coaching changes, because this district, I think more than any other DFW area district, was really impacted by coaching changes. You got 3 of the 4 playoff teams last year with new coaches, with Arlington Bowie, Arlington Lamar, and South Grand Prairie. And those are 3 teams I expect to compete for playoff spots. But when you have coaching changes like a few years ago with Cedar Hill, when you have that consistency, you just never know what you're going to get. All 3 coaches were replaced by very capable coaches, people who have been ready, been groomed, or even head coaches in this district. In the case of Laban DeLay, who went from Arlington Lamar over to South Grand Prairie. But still, you always have to wonder a little bit when you have coaching changes. It's not that sure thing. But when you look at the sure thing in this district, it is the team that was at the top last year and has the coaching consistency, Arlington Martin. I think it kind of starts and ends the conversation. Sid Ford is expected to be the quarterback, compete for the quarterback position. He was a wide receiver last year. Obviously, replacing Mundell is going to be very hard, but I think that they're going to have the athletes do it. And obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, they got some studs. Ernest Cooper, the huge defensive end, and Travell Johnson, the speedy linebacker. I think Arlington Martin is probably 2 or 3 scores better than everybody else, even the playoff teams in this district. So I don't know if they're going to get pushed as hard as they've been pushed in the past. But Arlington Martin is going to be my preseason pick. But below that, it gets really interesting, because I think almost everybody else in this district is taking a step down.
Should be interesting. We're heading out to Garland next week for some 9-6A. Can't wait to start talking about that.
Garland ISD is always fun. Sergio Perez talk next week.
There we go. All right, Diggsy, we'll see you.
See you next week.
Diggs, Wiz, thank you so much for joining us here on the Campfire. Such great insight as always. We only have 3 more episodes of the Campfire before we kick off our season. So come back next Monday for another show. I'm Ashley Billington, and thank you for watching.